Hello, James. Thank you for accepting our invitation for the glass of wine with Gilda. I'm happy to have you here. Today we are going to try Muscatel from Setúbal. This one is a 5 years Muscatel, and it won a medal in 2020. So let's try a little bit.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Let's make a toast to Portugal.
To Portugal.
Okay, James. So you used to make documentaries about travels, right?
Right.
And you've seen a lot of the world.
Some.
I believe. And how would you describe Portugal in one of your documentaries?
That's a tough question. Having lived here for almost 2 years now, it's really, I'm really amazed by the diversity that's here that's here in Portugal. One of the things that we do as a travel filmmaker is we used to make a full-length feature film, which is about 90 minutes worth of material, and we would cover all aspects of food, culture, entertainment, famous sites to see, but also a lot of the things you would look for and kind of the smaller things. And there are a lot of the smaller things here to see. It's amazed me living here that I didn't know more about Portugal before I came. And I've had colleagues who made films about Portugal, and they focus on places like Porto, and then the rivers and some of the old culture, the boats and fishing. A lot of cheese making. We used to do a lot of cheese making. That used to be the joke, but so it's been a real eye opener to actually move here and see everything that Portugal has to offer.
And what was the most amazing thing for you that you have seen in Portugal in all this discovery?
There are so many amazing things. A lot of, I'm simply amazed by it. Every time you walk down the street and you see a new church or an old historical building or museum. There's so many museums here, particularly in Lisbon, that you can just go months, just going once a week to museums and finding so many museums.
Can you do that?
I'm trying to. And Portugal, as you know, has this thing for if you are a resident, you can do 52 days a year and go free into many of the cultural sites here that are sponsored by the state. And you can get in free. So they actually encourage you to get out and learn the history. And for me, as being an immigrant, that it's a good way to learn the history and culture of Portugal in a way that I might not otherwise. So it's been really amazing to do that.
Even for us, it is. Yeah. It is great. Among the different cultural difference that we have between Portugal and United States, what was the one that you embraced?
Cultural differences. Well,
that you embraced easier.
Well, people here are a whole lot friendlier than Los Angeles, generally speaking. It's amazing how the Portuguese people are very helpful. If you even remotely ask or indicate that you need assistance, people are very accepting to help you out. English, as you know, is spoken very, very much here. They learn English, in school since the 1970s or something like that. Has been a program in school to learn English. So a lot of people, younger people especially, learn English. And so people I've found are extremely helpful here. So I think that's the thing that I've noticed most.
Talking about English, how is your Portuguese?
Horrible. Even though I've been here 2 years, I really underestimated how difficult Portuguese language is. Now, I come from Southern California. I lived there for 40 years. And in Southern California, they speak a lot of Spanish. So I'm exposed to a lot of Spanish. I didn't really learn anything in school. But I always thought Spanish is similar to Portuguese. On paper, it sort of is. I mean, that the words are very similar, spelled slightly differently, right? But the language, the spoken language, has been very hard to pick up. And I'm not getting any younger, and my brain is not getting any younger either. So,
but have you been taking classes?
Not formally, no. Just sort of informally, myself, trying to pick it up as much as I can. It's sort of like a starter before I've been trying to find the right class for me. I can't sit in the classroom for 5 hours a day, 4 days, 5 days a week. Is difficult for me because of my chronic health problems. So I've been trying to keep my eyes out for maybe online courses that can give me certification. But even those are quite lengthy, and it can be difficult because I do spend a lot of time at home sick a lot because of my chronic illness. And I know there are people who can, you can do private lessons, but that can be more expensive, obviously. So I'm still trying to work that out. But I'm trying to pick it up little by little, and I'm picking up words and phrases here. I'm kind of at the phrase point in my learning. So I can hear phrases, I can, say obrigado.
For instance, if you go to a restaurant or to a cafe, what can you order in Portuguese?
Chá preto, tea. I can pretty much mimic what's ever on the menu. Like, obviously, certain words like done, fish, Trilha mista,
Granada mista, frango.
Things like the basic phrases and orders.
Yeah, but
I can do well enough to order the Portuguese.
You can start with the food, with the dishes.
Exactly, and that's a good place to start. If you're not eating, you can't speak Portuguese.
And talking about that, how do you find Portuguese food?
Delicious. It's not really spicy most of the time, unless you order piri or something like that. But I don't. So that's fine with me. I have an English stomach, so I like things that aren't too spicy. But the ingredients here are just everything's fresh. It's so much fresher than time. And you go into the grocery store, you can buy bread. 10 million different kinds of bread. It was baked fresh that morning.
Yes.
And not trucked in from 5 states away. And that's wonderful. I've eaten way too many chocolate croissants in my time here, but I love the pastries here. It's just wonderful.
Right. And I know that you live in Montreal. And how do you find living there? What do you do in your day-to-day in Montreal?
Well, I live actually on the border of Montreal and Pistorio. So I do a lot of walking. We're about a kilometer from the coast. And in between Mistral and Cascais, there is the Perdão. So I walked down to the Portugal, which is on the ocean, and it's this paved area along the ocean. So I can easily walk into Cascais. It's 3 kilometers total to walk to. And so I do a lot of that. Gives me some exercise, gets me out in the fresh air. Plus I can walk into the old city of Cascais, which is 660 years old this year, I think, for last year. So I love walking the back streets and that sort of thing. And yet, if I wanted to stay home, I have a comfortable apartment. It's finished drill, but I do nothing. I'm retired now. I retired when I moved here, so retirement is wonderful.
And do you feel that you are having a good time being retired in Portugal?
Absolutely.
Better than you would have in the United States?
Yes. One of the things, I used to travel a lot from the United States as a filmmaker. But they never found that one sort of place that I really wanted to move to in the United States. The Four Corners area, the American Southwest, has always been a favorite in that. But I never found a place where I don't like cars here. And so I wanted to make sure that there was a lot of public transportation wherever I moved to here. And there is in Israel. There's the train that runs between here and between Israel and here in Lisbon. And there's free buses in Cascais if you're a resident or a worker or a student in Cascais, you have free buses. So it's very easy to get around on public transportation here. So that gives me the freedom of being able to travel around a lot within the country, in particular here, back and forth between Lisbon. And so the museums and the cultural sites. And I recently discovered that Cascais has its own symphony. So I've been able to go to the symphony, and the tickets are really reasonable. I mean, coming from Los Angeles, if you want to go to the symphony, you had to buy tickets for $200 to $300, and you got $50 worth of parking and 2 hours of traffic each way to get there. Here, I go over to the local high school, not far from me, or ride the bus over, and the tickets might be anywhere from 5 to 20 euros for a class performance.
Really? And do you find it's good?
I love it. Yeah, I found it very, very pleasing to sit there and listen to. Yeah, most recently, right a couple months ago, there was a Noble concerto that I love the Oboe. So I was sitting there tapping my foot, and people are looking at me. I'm being quiet, of course, but I'm really getting into it, and that's the wonderfulest thing about retiring here is there's just such a multitude of things that I can do. Whereas if I was from someplace in LA or California or Arizona or wherever, I might, have to drive there or, make a special trip or spend more money. Here in Portugal, it is retirement on the D7 visa has been a real trick. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good to hear that. And knowing that you have a disease, some health issues, you have been using private insurance.
Sure. Yes.
And how do you find this healthcare system in Portugal?
So far, it's been great. It's been back in Los Angeles, we had an HMO program. I had Kaiser through my employer at the time. And it's very similar to anybody who's ever had an HMO. The private healthcare for me here and the insurance that I use and the people that I use here is very similar to that. In other words, it's all under one roof. I mean, you go in, you see anyone from your general practitioner to a specialist to your surgery, if you need it, it's all under one place. And in the U.S., sometimes you might have to like go to your own doctor and pay for it, and then you're reimbursed for it. Here, it's very similar to an HMO in the States, where it's all under one billing, and your insurance takes care of their part of it even before you get your part of the bill. So it's been really, really good in that aspect. And as far as the quality of the medical care has been outstanding, just like anything I would expect in the States. So far, I've had 3 surgeries in the last several months. So
here in Portugal?
Here in Portugal, yeah. So it's been a really good experience. So I'm very happy.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give to someone that wants to move to Portugal nowadays?
Do your research. I'm online a lot, so I'm watching the expats type websites and things. And it's amazing to me how many people just want to move in a big hurry and have no idea about how to do that. Well, can I come over next week and move to Portugal? Well, it's not that simple, is it? As you advise people. So do your research and find the people like Eddie who can help you do that. And you guys have been a really big help for me in moving to this country, taking on real load on. I'm helping us research. I mean, my brother and I moved here together when we share an apartment in Portugal. And so we found our apartment using your Casa Portuguese serpents.
Thank you for the correct spelling, A in Casa Portuguesa.
I know a lot of people say EI.
Yeah. And that annoys me a lot. So thank you.
Yes. I'm trying hard to do that, by the way, because I've heard it mispronounced so many times. But and now that I'm here, I'm learning the correct pronunciation of things. So I'm trying very hard to do that sort of thing. But we found our apartment in record time. We only had 21 days when we did our scouting trip. And still, here with staff was the end of 2022, I think. Right? And so we were here in September of 2022. And then I think within a week of being here, we had found the apartment that we're now in. And Carolina helped us a lot with that. And we went and looked at it. I mean, we saw it on a Saturday. We walked out there on Sunday. Monday morning, first thing, we were calling Carolina to say, we want to go look at this in the pouring rain, no less. And she got us an appointment early Monday to do that. And I think within a week and a half, we had our contract ready to go and sign, I think, if I remember correctly. So it was really advantageous for you guys to do that for us, because we only had a very limited period of time to do all that. And you guys helped us, got us a contact to open our bank accounts here, which I know keeps changing a lot. But it seems like every week they change the rules on how to open up your banking account here. But we got all that done within our 21 days of our scouting trip here. And so, I mean, we even did a little tourist stuff in the time that we had left over, which was nice, which we hadn't planned on doing. And nobody should really plan on doing tourist stuff if you're trying to find a place to live. Then that's, of course, part of the research that you have to do. And especially speaking to a person such as yourself, who can give people an idea of what to expect when they need to apply for the visa here. So we were able to go get our D7 visa a month later, and the following February, we moved to Portugal. We didn't have our visa when we moved here approved yet, because at that time it took us 127 days to get our visa approved from San Francisco consulate.
Yes, San Francisco consulate was having so many requirements that there was a big delay at that time.
Yes. Now things keep changing, so it's kind of unpredictable, I think, at this time, how long it takes, but people have to learn patience. That's certainly one thing
If they want to move to Portugal, they certainly need to.
And living here, you have to have patience, because it's even to get our self appointment. I got mine in my visa, but my brother, in his visa, by the time he got the passport back, his visa, his self appointment, SEP at the time, now it's IMO. His self appointment had occurred 4 days before
he got
the passport back with the visa. So we called you guys, and so you guys were able to help us get a new appointment. And of course, you accompanied both of us to our individual self-appointments at the time to get our permanent resident permit. So, which was wonderful. I mean, that was a real load off our minds to get that done, taken care of by professionals.
James, I have a final quiz question for you. Can you mention in Portuguese 3 traditional desserts in Portugal? Desserts, pastries.
Why you putting that to me, aren't you? Desserts. I like to eat desserts. Pastry. Pastelina, which is Portuguese national food, and sobremesa. Let's see. I don't know whether it's really Portuguese or not, but I do eat croissant de chocolat a lot.
That's more French, but okay.
It's more French, but you guys put your own spin on it. So,
what about Portuguese cakes?
Bolo. I don't eat desserts a lot.
What about sweet rice?
Sweet rice.
Have you tried?
I don't think so.
You must try it.
Well, since you recommend it.
It's always on the desserts menu. Well, almost always.
What do you say that in Portuguese?
Arroz doce.
Oh, okay.
Arroz doce.
I'll look into it.
James, it was a pleasure having you here.
Right.
It was a very nice conversation. Let's make another toast so that you can still be happy enjoying your retirement here in Portugal. And if you need anything else from us, you know where we are. And
absolutely.
Just ask. Cheers. Saúde. How you say?
Saúde.
Saúde.
Saúde. Is that how you say it? Saúde. Good.